Hello, species. YouTuber Anthony Wall, A.K.A. Romulus. This is the realest, proper. No, there's not. This is the evolution instantly. This is the real. How that nature of real never heard since same ancient times. Now, using research tied to theories into convictions recorded with physical delusions, criminally foreign influenced, fact cheating nature with that. Now, fact cheating nature is a substance that our modern nations were obligated to have us be able to discern in grammar school. We were obligated to understand just verb, just identity nature's core. Science uses what is true always and as exceptions, and not denying exceptions, especially exploited ones originally and still. And see now, what everyone forced that self-value originally still, so we have a pathology of what needed to hide from correlation natures with sequence truth simultaneously inherent active and progressive means when way redeems. So this is positives course logics, and this is how we all have to discern the difference between criminal insidious natures uses and needs by what definitions are logic distinctly from what is not criminally foreign influenced. Especially that can't be legalized. We'll see. There's a recorded organized crime method that has been valuing that to spots. All spots of a sophistication before modern nations, criminally foreign influence. We'll examine the religions recorded right up front. They're only valued as subject matter, as predicate matter out of sequence, and then that valued as criminal seriousness nature counter, but still criminal seriousness nature. This is logic. Would it see? I'm not a doctor. I'm not a police force. I'm not a criminal. The Justice Department is involved with a whole bunch of nations, with a whole bunch of also sociology is a whole bunch of ways criminally involved with databases, with a whole bunch of natures of identity theft and methods of denying it. A whole bunch of formal people that get state name stacking against people they don't know, having that facilitated. Our directors and theirs in collusion used as a substrate. DACA was just a substrate. All investors with that, all things, all victims, all victim predators. We're in value nature system forced by the one value that is true always. These are ones that are other. Now we need free speech to be able to demonstrate that, to even tell our American history at all seconds need to be defended the right to tell that. We haven't had it yet. That relies on, not by accident, the only way it could justify itself is by relying upon wars. They did not have to be. Since founding, all we needed was free speech. Mandate's course is logic's course when pure. Emotions and passions, when our true always, we're not denying exceptions, fighting for what's going to make even evolution, what is evolution instant. What made matter before it could bang? They say evolution theory. This is evolution, our volume theory. This is volume science. This is volume theory, really, too. When we come to the debatable, they're all offensively. When we're with the non-debatable, the science is. There's a difference between scientific consensus and opinions with theories and what is true always, and we're not denying exceptions. And this is this is required fact cheating nature for how we have three natures of volume. So we have all kinds of people that now I use things. I start talking about the finite and things like that because I was talking about their sequence shifting. on Facebook, for example. The policing interbranch, however, of every online platform, from former director of the FBI down with other nations, they needed to hide how the campuses are intercampuses are used criminally here and there, per a method that keeps each age of correlation nature, valuing criminal insidious nature and roles with what really facilitates and furthers the overt criminal enterprises the most, even down to the sickened acts, and as the one that put them away and jail them and watch over them. All their family members, all that, for the victim predators, forgiveness was for this, to have described how recorded the identities of each branch individually, each individual of each branch, each group member of each branch, like sex, age, title, rank, each and all together. Criminally foreign influence and delusions raw. Crime methods pretending other. Pseudo positive definition defenses. So therefore, simultaneously self valuing the fake standing. Well, these are database crime roles with houses on and off. See, these are all victim predators. These are people that were child abused for a whole bunch of natures of child abuse, juxtaposed and roles with women with it, with the abuses of the good girls. Whole bunch of different natures of them, with the sick men. Because a whole bunch of people were invested to titles, value nature systems that mean nothing in values course. Free speech. The values change. We have all kinds of pseudo medical recorded. They start saying, oh, people, they have conspiracy theories. Russians and Americans recorded, confessed, and demonstrated. Crimes intercampuses facilitated with a whole bunch of nations associated with this Spada family with identity thefts with them. Per that's recorded. Forging names, switching names. Pretend people have conspiracy theories. As misprision people faking conversations with people, faking behavior of people into databases. These are people involved with prisons and courts, various natures of courts, whole bunch of crime methods like forging names and switching names. These are criminal uses of identity grounds, relationship to our quality of fact treatment nature. Again, they claim that we can't sue them as standing criminal insidious nature, but we can private, and they were already private worse than war crimes, with what really led us into World War I, which was two juxtaposed, good and bad, because we still had entrenched what was intercolonies, fake sides. Same slavery method for those fake sides, for everyone to blame other things others than themselves, per the method, the organized crime method that American history is about unceasingly. I'm not a lawyer, not a police form criminal. Recorded that you had types of law treatments. This is an exploitation of what bonded all to roles as natures of criminal insidiousness, fake positive, fake good, who's good and bad. Roles preventing free speech, especially when free speech becomes correlation nature where the areas are most exploited. So all we do is make this the game that we all long to help liberate. Let them see. And I'm taking over education because they failed. I'm not a doctor. You watch. Hypertheory. We're going to force, because they're pretending politics into branch, because individually grouped, they also have grouped crime methods. They also have interbranch together crime methods. All criminally foreign influence states there is a bond each. How long do we have to watch people in other nations without pipelines? How long do we have to have? We have means. See, we have a value nature system. You can't defend that, and so we're going to present simultaneous natures of reliefs, and people just see it and feel it and This changes the fact-cheating nature everywhere. This enables governments and voices to have time for evolution, instant fruits everywhere, gifts. We're in a semi-ancient trap. Recorded Russia and America have the same criminally foreign influence zoning laws for what came since before modern nations. Before our founders were born, there and here. Fake sides, they think that being our side is divide, make each other hurt each other more. They don't talk about that. They send people home in body bags because we're forced extended, because these markets positions are value nature systems other than the one that really why we're individual, grouped, and species nature of volume. This Trinity's value nature slash value nature value progression value. What is in demonstration of the same thing, which is identity's nature of volume, which only increases. So the Trinity is volume, is value. Allah's name is value with this algebra, with this interscience. The reincarnation with Indian preserved ancient revelations. That came from a nature of species working together, understanding that what causes evolution is valuing the finite's order, how we and why we are grouped order, how and why we are together simultaneously. One simultaneous nature of relationship to itself. Is we're all along water, we're all along food. Now we all along it through value nature systems that are from tactically natured relationships to nature. Again, zoning laws, since before our founders were born, who are founders who didn't have free speech. So we had titles glorified. They don't even know those people. They won't let spoke demonstrations of that because too many people relied on uses of titles for their own burden to get over on other fake quality of integrity natures, and pretending that any of the branches have the integrity to settle disputes. They do not. That's what the religions are about. The first part in sequence, as well right up in the beginning of the Old Testament written in English, says, all you have to understand is right here about the sciences. They share an identity. They share the value of its relationship to itself, which is that nothing leaks. So this is simultaneously, what's the value of Jew? To see if we're juxtaposing what's going to cause positive or negative as our species nature of volume. No matter who you are, you're an individual, you're a group, sex, what you take on it, and your species. This is identity's course. This is science. They have this obfuscated because of each age of fact-cheating nature, a victim of what Captain keeps. All juxtaposed roles with lie progressions. As quality of fact-cheating nature, liar styles, pretending they're not liars, as pseudo-positive. This is a breaching organized crime method that used color. Used a whole bunch of crazy laws that were the fact-cheating nature slavery of our founders, let alone the rare victims all the way down to unfathomable. It's necessary too. That's why it's necessary to have to switch the colors, because there are things that are so simple to explain that is the same non-distinct organized crime method sustained that everyone doesn't know how to blame, but on other things other than themselves. And as, again, styles forced by nature to the defense of fact treatments, of convictions, of what is positive of integrity. You guys real care. All here. So we're in a trap that makes frustration progressed. That's inseparable from what's keeping the. We're going to build this nuclear weapon. Whoa! They are their minds. They haven't. This is just your minds. They haven't even defended free speech yet. Mandated law. So they fake writing. They prevent writing, confess, and record, misprision, the tricks like that. Originally, still real evil. Now they are victims the same way the overt criminal enterprises are. In fact, they are in collusion. And the overt criminal enterprises are recorded worse victim predators. Roles, natures, needs, and families needing to hide the same finite, active, progressive lifestyles and lies from all natures of correlation, because each is an identity of the ground. All gather round. Small world, big world. The one that gains always. Now, what is the difference of Earth? What does it look like? A semi-nature of a semi-nature that doesn't fit into space's complete identity, but as already filling it as its complete value. What does the rest of its identity look like when it is the identity, when it is the nature of volume it is identity? It looks like a ball in zero gravity. A ball that has value progression from it. All values in finite, grouped, and all together are bonded by one semi-nature's semi/complete/simultaneous nature of relationship to itself. And so the invisible can be discerned more than just with the subject and the predicate. There's the value. More than as the identity that's gaining the value as nature that every definite article is. See, finite in the word definite. Allah's name. This is for Islam helped preserve. What helped bring what kept the criminally foreign influence campus marcius, ancient science, semi-ancient sciences since before modern religions, brought them into the dark ages, stole their identity. What helped preserve our education, would help preserve the means to decipher what the Trinity is about, Alpha and Omega. Alpha and Omega is a subsection of yin yang, which is the extent of the positive we are in, and has value as criminal diseases nature positive, or as real positive, which hasn't had voice yet. So we have convictions about value nature system that leave out a lot of exceptions, a lot of exception nature. There are recorded offensive life progression cover-up natures, needs, style. They need things, people to think. That's where we have audacities and different kinds of things, all seemingly conspiratorial against people. You see, they want people and need people to blame things on other things, others and cause themselves. See, when I use names, these are people that approach me with the land and online. and intercampuses. There were involvements with a whole bunch of bad things. But these are people also crimes with foreign and domestic families from the former director of the FBI, Robin Luskin down. Involved crimes with Cuban, Puerto Rican gangs on and off Hartford Hospital, with a Scalora family, with people associated with all parts of Griswold Street, fire departments, intercities, on off campuses, crime acts rules. His lawyer, a whole bunch of family members of the federal criminal code defendants of his involved with a pattern of crimes, confessed and recorded and demonstrated intercities and interstates, but worse, the interstates maintained through time, leading up to the Trade Center attack context, on and off CCSU criminally involved, their marketing department, like their international business school, each of those departments was maintained criminally foreign influence. This is the same way all the campuses are, there and here. This is another method of crime. These are a whole bunch of prison cliques associated with, undercover there and here, sick together. These are high predators, methods and roles and natures of gun crime is missed. These are crimes against logic, against free speech, trick fact, cheating nature racket roles, drug racket roles, formal and gangs drugs, right? Where they're pretending it's just about other stuff. They're lying. That's recorded. They're forging and switching names to prevent identity of the ground counters. They're using wire crime, mail crime methods. Everyone in the background are getting stacked in more and more, needs to hide their own roles, having hid things from presidents, forcing them to roles needed to hide the things too, because we have what is indefensible. So we have more child offenders with the campuses associated. We have also recorded how the women interbranch are this is a fact cheating nature racket. These are verbal federal crimes. These are identity theft racket rolls. Whole bunch of people associated with this Scalora family, with locations from the Demoro family and a Collusion family, recorded, confessed, demonstrated, involved crimes with whole various natures of courts with kids, and with police forms interbranch, evidence rackets interbranch through time, programs with kids, criminal uses of on and off those locations. This is tied to all the problems with the schools because of they're using the tightened security with schools to hide lie progressions for how the branches are used criminally individually, criminally grouped, and criminally together. All this was facilitated originally and still by a sophistication that was here since before our founders, using all identities, the ground only capable of valuing criminal ceaseless natures of theater positive that can't be defended and us at the same time. That's when it comes down to. So I just remind. So opinions fail. Then they pretend they have the integrity to make opinions about election crimes. The databases of these networks are involved with the database organized crime and identity of the ground crime, identity theft crimes that was here with databases since before our founders were born, and is involved with and as what you can't defend as opinions and stand mandated law being needed followed now. Fox Connecticut News, a whole bunch of people with the buildings next to it recorded, confessed, involved identity thefts. I don't know them all. They pretend to film other. Any exceptions is way criminally worse than that. I don't know these people. They act. They had people act. People with the DMV, a whole bunch of police forms. From the former director of FBI down, since before 2001 straight, they have not been let this reported. Military, police, foreign, and domestic. Family members' uses of deans, identity theft, forging names, switching names. They have secrets because whatever they have, you can't defend. And us at the same time, they can't stand the beginning of the Quran or the beginning of the Old Testament heard with sequence value true. They have the state's areas exploited by natures of criminal and seriousness, methods of liars, their natures are controlled. Modern nations, fact-cheating nature, opinion natures, remotely all victim predators, the same way the overt criminal enterprises are, by another organized crime method that is completely fact-cheating nature, using verbal federal crimes. Extensions of that become and stay way worse. Valuing how that stayed that. Self-value because of the fact-cheating nature styles maintain manifest. I tell it best. A 10. Campus Marcius calls you home again. Who'll train? We play one game. The Burl's book. Guide you home. Ancient gaming system. Forget these social media. These are we're gonna counter. They're involved with a whole bunch of identity theft crime rules, database crime rules. If they don't want it to be that, then don't make opinions about people's behavior out of sequence. And with your recorded crime rules, with the criminal uses of New Britain Superior Court's Facebook page, with child sex offenders, proven various natures of it. Even if that was made up, that it's further recorded, that's true, with more too. Tied to Fox CT, Fox WFSB, associated with the Levines, people with the name Levine, crimes with people with shared names, facilitated to this. I don't know those people. These are clicks that attach me to fake news. Fake news, they die every time. These are their rules with a whole bunch of bad things maintained, sustained. Not one has trained. They recorded it consciously, criminally, pretending that mental illnesses of people with areas with like shootings, with like North End of Hartford, are legitimate. They are also involved with the statistics regarding that, with the same people involved with criminal uses of what forces, sustained, blamed, other things, others itself. War keeps real bad. Left cared for, not cared for, worse than forsaken. Be shaken, branch, and eat your fate to fall. The seed will then be found. We are this wall. This is why we are bodies, to see body of value discernment. This is why to see the Trinity's value, the cells. Therefore, it is most liable, is demonstrable that the ancients had. It is more probable that the ancients had microscopes first, that they had even microscopes. Now, I'll gather round. They played the ground. They painted themselves into a corner. And see, now we have sensibilities that are victims, sickly distinctly in every nature of city. And so we have offensive natures of fake integrity. Now, this is offensively being used to prevent mandated law that's not getting over on everyone from its voice in needs as evolutions here and now, unrealized, but now you go to God, unquote. Humanity flow in space, come back. The Earth, its value gathers are gold. Now, so the Earth's what do all the planets that share the same identity? Why would they look different? Because one identity is distinct onto each. How it is distinct and non-distinct onto each position of space nature, the same way our complete identity is distinct and non-distinct to all the complete identities of our body, which is them as semi-nature relationships to ourselves, our complete identity. And our complete identity is again semi-nature relationship to this Trinity. That is why we are a species, to understand this and to ignore it, or to use it, and to have that stay demonstration of the third semi-nature with the value of its complete nature's identity of relationship to itself and the value of that with it. This is the identity bigger than uh, infinity, as the nature of volume and demonstration of itself, as all things are. Bach sings. It tells us things. So the value of this nature of bond is only positive, also real positive. Positive that's also positive unto itself. The difference between positive that is criminal and seditious nature, positive as negative value nature. But it's positive. Like, in other words, you know, what was entrenched, that was of and as the past only let realize told to us, that was unfathomable. Again, not by mistake. I mean, methodically, with no one realizing, even kings, they were making everyone blame other things, others, themselves, for the real cause of negative value nature progressions, acts, and natures. The only way everyone understood, even kings, is forced, entertained states and areas, nature of criminal seditious nature, forced upon them. And so as their value, forsaking clause. So then everyone's frustrated. What do they hold on to? What do they say to fight? Who? This is from semi-ancient times. This just reminds. All we have to do, for example, we make these books, same page. Each area start that. No one makes money on it though, otherwise don't do it. Because I'm going to do the two with this, the Bros book, which is for each nature city. And we're going to, with this, how you do this now, same page. You have to draw the most forsaken areas and things like that seem unfathomable, related to how we have forsaken value, actual values, actual course, which is logics. Now, see, I'm not a lawyer, not a police force, I'm not a criminal, but I'm going to show you that there are a whole bunch of doctors recorded misprision, recorded a whole bunch of natures of federal crimes like predicate acts, methods of crimes subsequent from that originally instilled. So then there are life progressions. Then their needs maintained, self-value to what's facilitated for them to exploit, to pretend other, while they're needing to pretend other offensively the whole time. All victims, like reparations. That's a trick. Like if you go like this and then have the guy react, but you weren't really gonna punch, and then you punch the guy. They're making you guys fight where you're not gonna win. Reliefs. Grip the problem instance, injunctive reliefs, I believe it's called. See, but we have our organized crime countering bodies invested pushing what they further blamed other things with their fact treatments, with their counters to avert criminal enterprises. Recorded how the media was facilitated roles foreign and domestic, shared policing in the stores, shared policing at banks, criminally forward influenced. There are a whole bunch of people tied to a Jerry Kerr and a kid of his, and a Michael Kerr. I don't know if he has any kids involved with crimes with the stores in Weathersfield and with databases. and with judges and with prison cliques involved crimes with child offenders and elderly offenders at the same time. These are also crimes, federal crime rolls on and off campuses through time. Identity theft crimes, whole bunch of names. That's also recorded, consciously, methodically used to keep people motivated with more and more for a crime method that keeps more and more family members motivated to pretend they hate people. In other words, which simultaneously pretends they had conversations with them. Somebody simultaneously pretend that any of the branches had integrity to counter what is really causing negative value nature progressions, acts, and natures with areas in the first place. All pays. Forgiveness was for the itchy spot of ground. Each time, each frustration then was used. You all around. Watch the extortion of me, recorded how? From since before the Trade Center attack. Watch how the investigators of that are involved with Sandy Hook crimes since before that, with the databases, and further with child offenders with the campuses intercities from this city into branch, on off their state judicial branch offices, on off forensic locations, whole bunch of people all tied to a house in my area, crimes with my grammar school databases, with a former Mayor Gold, also recorded, confessed, involved with crimes with a Phil Clough, involved with a crimes with his family members, also by people associated with a state forensics lab in Connecticut, and with doctors recorded, confessed, physical delusions, criminal foreign influence, crime methods, crime acts, and crime natures with child sex offenders, identity thefts with them, crime methods, offensively pretending people wrong them to sequence shift and to pretend they even had a conversation in life. They're real sick with this. Phil Clough needs to go out away from the schools far with two Mendez police. I've been the other families also forging names, switching names with a whole bunch of police forms on off CCSU, leading up to the Trade Center attack criminally, leading up to a 2006 district court case criminally. These are people tied to federal crimes with federal criminals that were co-defendants of former director of the FBI. Crime rolls with his lawyer. Crime rolls with a whole bunch of other federal criminals associated with them, with identity thefts, offensive evidence perception crimes, like with Fox Connecticut News, with Thaddeus Grabowski, with two Domain brothers and their family and their locations on the ground, and they're all gathered around, and the relationship to schools, and a pattern of crimes with people like that, all the way from Church Street and Old Weathersfield straight up to CCSU. These are also people, federal crimes with various natures of courts with Russians, and against me, against all the presidents, because this was through administrations. They have fake conversation, all kinds of formal drug crime rolls, crimes with gangs, drugs, crimes with the body spots of untimely deaths, or with connections to them. Also criminally used, not letting people talk about things that are real, pretending because they want privacy, recorded as a crime method to keep people invested, hiding their roles with identity thefts, fake conversations with me that imply I was even in locations I weren't, sequence shifts with areas tied to their sequence shifts and cases, further tied to a proven post-dated documents had been shown to the panel of judges right before the Trade Center attack. Those same people, the same ones involved with this Subby Scalora, Claudia Scalora, other police forms associated with East Hartford police forms associated with Cololo family, a Rizzo Pool, and a DePietro K. I don't know those people. Those are all the people involved with recorded confessed CIA crimes with child offenders, identity thefts, criminal uses of their family members associated with the on and off the campus locations used criminally and through time. They even have people calling fake things box sayings associated with a woman with red hair. That's what she implied. I mean, that was implied though. But with the red hair associated with her daughter with soccer. Also, they're trying to hide behind with confessions and demonstrations of Russians involved criminally with a house on the corner of Highcrest on the northern corner. Now, these are also people with what they call intelligence community interbranch, criminally involved all along that street. I mean, in other words, at the corners associated with New Britain Superior Court as victims. But no, there are people that attach them to fake narratives with the court's criminal uses of the areas, criminal uses of little kids, because they have live aggressions because they were involved with a whole bunch of things that are in this pathology juxtaposed, where you can't defend that and not value having had blamed and still blaming the other things and others themselves for your fact treatment, justification, and justification of your treatment of others. In other words, when it comes to mandated law, when people are not using theories called science, blamed on research, using research, that's all theory. Use what's true always. Use the crime methods recorded here now and originally. Fake branches bow to find the seed. We're all together and at once. Say, please read with this with the and so we could even beg for doctor help. They'll give us help because there's a lot of pseudo medicine and there's a lot of pseudo medical that's not has nothing to do with real, and they're keeping those people involved with methods and natures and motivations of crimes that they don't even understand through interbranch police and overt criminal enterprises and other shared policing of our fire departments, our stewards of chemicals, of sciences. They're maintaining criminally foreign influence through another crime method on and off the campuses through time originally and still. Religion Phil. There are, for example, you cannot say you can't only with lies, tricks, and worse can one say that the zoning laws are not criminally foreign influenced. Only one could say other that our treatments of American history are not criminally foreign influenced. And that was built as a nature of a method of criminal enterprise, of criminal insidiousness to exploit methodically, to have the defenses of that, and then justifications of that invested as a one can't tell what metaphysics is really about. As is. But here, this way alone. So we use the science of pantheism and the identity of the grounds, value of identity of a relationship to the forever identity, and to its identity of relationship to itself, which is the means to know the difference between what's going to cause positive or negative value needs progressions, evolutions, fruits, and gifts, or negative. So we have that again as our subject real fast. I can stop right now. So much hurt and bad reliefs. We can do it together because everyone will help, but they have help. Oh, they have the nature of child abuse. It has the value of what is politics with voting. They have the physical nature of mental abuse, of logic forced respected where we have sick predators with kids, but it's very subtle while it is overt. There is a Joshua Julian involved further with overt criminal enterprises with crime methods and acts recorded and natures recorded associated with the Wethersfield police chief. His uses of his family, uses of interbranch family members, faking conversations with people, stealing their identities, sticking things in databases through time. These are real bad gun crimes. These are real bad uses of the identity of each branch. So mandated law. We have also the media recorded, confessed, and demonstrated. It's a whole bunch of ways tied to a whole bunch of people tied with the Dillon family, also involved with them criminally, and with foreign and domestic families associated with a Leahy family, a Brian Silver, recorded, confessed by a Rick Shumfione. I barely know him. Him and an O'Brien family are the ones with the on-off campuses crimes with the kids. Forging names, switching names, spreading lies, pretending they're switching sequences. And their roles with drugs with the kids of each age to maintain roles they keep in each age in a progression that they're lying to and pretend we're celebrating to lie. But this is being used to hide what made them need to keep hiding lie progressions originally and still for reasons other than for breaching organized crime method. That's what American history is about. That's semi what was forced to be about why we went to World War One. And that's what semi-forced, divided, every modern nation with that, including Germany. Everyone goes after Hitler's name. How come no one mentions Joseph Mengele? How come no one mentions at the same time we had sick, real bad psychology record natures then and now? Delusions raw. All kinds of drug crime rules with overt criminal enterprises. On off Fox Connecticut News. On off downtown Hartford. Then they call you rats. They're getting their gang. You're drugs from rats. You are rats. I don't know you. Don't pretend you had a conversation with me. Like Allegro's Cafe. That's who they said he is. One of the guys with these two Mendes police and a whole bunch of other people from CCSU involved with child sex offenders. Detective Samuda, his family, inter departments of the campuses used intercampus of each age, used criminally through time for an organized crime method, exploiting what's at their corner with the Russians involved. Predicate X rules with trade center investigators too. Same ones involved in the bridge and with the doctors associated with their treatments of Sandy Hook victims. Recorded involved further from there, whereas the ones with the campuses in my town, intercity further, each age of kids with this sick game. Now you're here, but I didn't get on the campus for. They lied about what we talked about. Still more child offenders. What else was there? Now I need a response. They're forging names and switching names as the branch and juxtaposed simultaneously with the fake news. Fox News, CNN. Don't pretend you're hiding something. You don't have rights to read those statutes like that. Leave out your perjury record rolls. Murder rolls. Who told you you had that right? That to record, confessed, and demonstrated crime acts rolls with many federal criminals associated with and as the family members of and the persons of Freddy Skabowski, other federal criminal defendants a former director of the FBI, leading up to and in that 2006 case. Connecticut. Recorded and confessed to me and others. What they're doing with their fact treatments with Saudi Arabia now is maintaining there and here states and areas criminal uses, preventing from being realized the organized crime method, the revelations by treating the first part of the Quran, the first part of the Old Testament about science as that. How's it about science? It's about the organized crime method that forced sick fake sides other than why we are really bonded, how we are really bonded from being even discerned. Not one has learned. English was revealed by a nature of fact treatment nature value as a system's own, as the only system that gives. Other couldn't be defended until that since in ancient times. This just reminds free speech. I shouldn't have to beg every day, to have any one of the various natures of crime acts responded to against me, against everyone, not just against me. These are sick, punk things. They are preventing people from having calm behavior to defend ourselves from fact formal. You will see what happens when passions and emotions are coupled with this forsaken law. We have boxing is strong. See, now that what they do too on a mass scale, they lie about people having manic behavior. They forge names, switching names. There are a whole bunch of people with medical corruption associated with the Dillon family and with the Leahy family. Men and women with his family involved crimes with drugs with kids through time, attaching people to fake conversations, whole bunch of natures of federal crimes with various natures of courts, crime methods with them recorded, crime natures, no criminal sentences natures. Their natures actually recorded. They've been pretending fake things recorded by police forms. These are using, while they're sustaining, not letting that demonstrated, they're using the identity of law, they're pretending to be against someone telling against a title. They are not true. So we're gonna have admitted identity in the ground relationship to our quality fact treatment nature for what they are, then seen. That means redeemed, unseen. Right here reveals. Train, betrayal, tribe, religion. Hear our name again. Native pure. When right, true. Not denying exceptions. Exception nature guides us to simultaneous nature. It's the ancient gaming system. I want to set up another one too. There's nothing to play yet. So we have to have, people will jump on. People will jump on to help you guys. All you have to do. We're gonna the rules. You don't blame anything on any. You blame if someone sequence shifts, for example. You use their name for the sequence shift. You don't say, "Oh, this person's a bad person because of this," and may give an overall. You give a true sequence, or you don't say it, because we're gonna treat what really is true always and not denying exceptions, because that's what really science is. See, they've been using the word scientific consensus. They were affected to use and then to value uses of scientific consensus, pretending it's positive, it's real science, and then that is being valued by people lying. Well, that's what science. That's science. They're pretending things, and they have physical delusions, and they're criminally foreign influenced. the the identities of fact, cheap in nature that are all to the array of and often as the identity of negative value nature progression that modern nations are in, the human species. Because we're in an identity of negative, we're in a value nature systems tactically ulterior from the one that causes positive value nature progressions, acts, nature's fruits and gifts as evolution's means. One way redeems. You can see the pathology of this organized crime, how it maintains all blaming other things, others, and selves. This is what the real motivations for the people that will really pretend and hate they only they have named this ISIS. Those modern languages people, the Justice Department, they've long been many nations involved with a whole bunch of life progressions tied to their crimes with drugs. They force drug people. The same people, they're going to have people say bad things about them after. So they have statutes that, in other words, but they're using those statutes criminally. Now they're preventing mandated law, forging and switching names. This such natures and things and positions of the ground were used to facilitate their motivations and roles with and as fake sides with what caused part of the Trade Center attack, what caused it. It was other things as well, but that's also recorded crime acts rules of the investigators who had crime acts rules without originally instilled. Criminal uses of each age of campus, intercampuses through time. They don't understand but through line progression because of how their identities are used. They don't really care when you say something bad about a title. We're going to have to make distinctions here to defend everyone. Otherwise, things get worse for everyone. We're in an identity of negative value nature progression nations. Look at the trillions. How much the species wasted on what? Bomb, when all we bring natures of release to the human fact sheet nature, all that energy goes to heal the tactically denatured relationship to nature, self-value. Again, criminally foreign influence zoning laws. Therefore, pathology of infrastructure foreseen by what had all painted to that criminal ceases nature memory too. Database crime before computers. The times just reminds the memory. Computers see, but don't discern the way. It made him pray. Now legion wake, do not disbelieve. It means we'll be our way. We'll come our way. And be there too. It'll all come true. We're in a simulation trap. I'm the species coach. We draw these identities. You're in a big people stacking. That's unacceptable. But don't blame it on the wrong things. That was wanted, needed, invested. We have to back out of this. We have to claim reliefs, needs for reliefs, needs to claim forsaken, means to release unfathomable. Claim that at least. Then they may will appear. That's the course. That's real. All others tear. This volume only fills. It lifts and gifts or is forced to leave lethal Hades. Thank you, Species Validation System. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel Anthony Wall. Species Coach, A.K.A. Romulus. The Republic is criminally foreign influenced since ancient times. Its campus Marcius. Its campus is Marcius value relationship as the transmitter of nature's grounds values relationship to our fact cheaping nature value. Along this course, each place and everywhere that I'll prepare. See me one way redeems. So I'm putting identity of the ground relationship that you guys are in control of too, because then I could say, look, what's there. And when everyone sees it, everyone's going to help a little bit. And that's your own. No words. As pantheism. But that's part of the game, the ancient gaming system. And then, this is species. Pantheism. We can claim we have to get we have to realize that each individual voice, we have to realize the government is on top of value, real. That's where the expert is. What is correlation nature without criminal foreign influences, which we know what? They were left. States, areas into the sciences were left criminally foreign influenced. Treatment, that was self-value, not by accident. Forgiveness was for this. For the organized crime method. This is not just a fact treatment nature racket, but racketeering organized. RICO means Racketeering Influenced and Corrupt Organization Act. Before that, it was A.K.A, Organized Crime Control Act. Even if they change that, it's still recorded, especially if they change it, it's recorded and involved with offensive breaching organized crime methods bonded by one. Boxings, begone to break the branches where they crack to fall. Behold the seed, then gifts into us all. Fake branches fall. Don't disbelieve. Just admit. So this is how we do it. Because taxes, they're nuts. They're not going to do it. Which we could afford it yesterday. Deliberated many pray. All at once, boxings, the simultaneous nature guides and is there. Beyond all means, all ways. So what is if one identity grips the other ones and they share an identity? See, Earth is where 365 days is this Trinity. Is this Trinity's value nature relationship to the identity that is all places at once through its semi-nature of itself. Each individual grouped and together, all space progressions are bonded by one semi-nature's complete identity of relationship to itself, which is a volume as the value of that which is visible but clear, and it is also before and beyond that value. As identity that is self-generating. We are zero to infinity as a range of positive that is unceasingly gaining, but inside this and controlled by it. The same way we have needs for clean water controlled by it. We have needs for a native way that is pure, controlled by it. We have needs to have passions and emotions that are true our ways, not denying exceptions. And with free speech and with sequence true, allow that force that mandate brings, boxings, who fights for native rights, as each, for each, and here. That means appear. Then way less tear. Lies. Betrayal tribes. With native voice, with native group, or one where it will join. We law your rights to gain our value, our own. Only positive as native pure. No matter who we are. What's true and has sequence native to is native pure. What's logic's course? Boxings. It tells us things. Behold, this volume only fills and lifts and gifts or leads of ideas are all. You know. Boxing. I'll tell you how to make it to evolution. Everyone would agree. Change the nature of everyone online because they're recorded, confessed, involved, demonstrated, involved all kinds of federal crimes with databases, with online policing. You call it a police that what's hiding low in you those uses of such things. Of here is of which boxings. It tells us things. Behold, the New York game. We gather round. Be told. Campus Marcius calls you home. The timeless way, not old. Legion, religion, religion. Hear your name, religion. Wake. Break, fake branches, break. Together all be one. I lost recourse. I lost Republic's course in Campus Marcius. Source and source through force itself and well alone. This thing, boxing, of which boxings, not force. We have logic. We have theater, natures of positive self-value. And worse than lack of integrity, where we needed experts and logic. And what is being demonstrated where and how simultaneously ratiocination and pseudo-ratiocination share this identity's value as the nature of volume, its identity of relationship to itself. Everything has the nature of volume. Yeah, your course. Three natures of zero are the nature numbers. One at one, left to right, notice, with the zero, then the one. One at 10, no, right to left, with the zero, then the one. And three are the nature numbers. Value has a value, they are values nature, but they are value nature inside value nature. So we are value nature with complete, one nature of semi-complete, of complete, three natures of complete, semi, complete, and finite control over ourselves. Not just control. See, everything is identity of value progression, relationship. Everything is this quality of diffusion, which is also about this trinity, which is also about how each identity of the nature of volume is in the other, and how each one affected by that is also affected by its complete identity. So they're trying to tell this because they have states and areas, uses of pseudo positive. They have states and areas, well, in other words, pretended care about the notions of religions. No, out of sequence, preventing free speech. Someone comes with mandated law, they don't care. As long as the branches of government are in collusion with what is a whole bunch of nations and overt criminal enterprises and private and military here and there for other natures and method of crime self-value. All to roles are hurt and hurt anyway. Give many pray in every way. Even kings, boxing. It tells us things. They can't speak equality of fact, cheap nature, to counter the exploitations of state scenarios and intersciences. So therefore, maintain fact, cheap nature quality. roles with what valued and still valued prevented correlation on from off the ground of education's value on off campuses and layers, knowing that ground has a tie to what only gains volume here. All exceptions in the demonstration of it. All mandate course is clear. I'll move aside. Tucker Carlson. You can do great help for damage control for Fox News. For your alma mater, Tucker. Involved with former director, many people involved federal crimes with former director of the FBI. His lawyer, federal criminals, interbranch families, various natures of courts, on off campuses crimes, mail crimes, wire crime methods, forging names, switching names into branch crime roles, pretending emotions and passions. Now they have failed you, streets, every area, sickly distinctly, and to keep from sound sickly, not distinctly from being discerned. And this is with torture in there too. Now please don't forget that you, each one. We have many tortured every day. We need reliefs. Reparations is not the word for what is instant now. Fake branches bow, then fall, and find the seed. So why not just agree and fall now? It may need pray, it may need bleed. For what? Let's science words. Let's all rehearse. They're fake. They're theories. All offensive. Line progression rules. Roles self-valuing what you can't defend and what we need to be voicing every moment as American history's actual course by sayings. Stop spreading lies about me through the kids. Get me a response for the rape threats, for the other natures of crimes. Where is the family and who are the names of the rest of those involved with the John C. Julian and with the rest of the child offenders, male and female? Using titles, don't pretend you know me. Whole bunch of people associated with Heather Hansen too, associated with those people on and off Hartford Hospital. Cuban overt criminal enterprise, of whether they're associated with policing crime rules, identity theft, evidence crime acts with a whole bunch of people associated with a house in my area. With a Phil Club, recorded, confessed them, associated with them, crimes with database clicks, other nations too. They have international business associated with this, trade center clicks, all bunch of natures of crimes with kids. Criminal use of wire crime method that's tied to ground games with them with witch religions, intercultural crimes, and then criminal use is pretended, recorded physical delusions, also criminally influenced to pretend people are prejudiced. That's recorded. You're going to have demonstrated the sick punk fakes that have been mass manifest as state scenarios and intersciences. All victims, but all victim predators. Incapable of defending their opinions and hearing mandated law's course, where it comes down to where it is needed, demonstrated here. I don't know if each of the campus is connected. I'll read your souls from here, CCSU. Come here. Now this is the judges. We need their names in sequence because their crimes with them. Child offenders with police forms, intercities. Again, former director of the FBI down, interbranch police, and their family members. even the mother of one. And all of them, actually. More of one. Because they bring their families. They're victims of a method. Everyone's speaking to others criminally. With the torture of people with areas, this is what everyone doesn't realize. There are other natures of reliefs by those people because it's facilitated through maintained misprisoned relationships, self-value, consciously keeping everyone criminal, insidious in this nature or positive. That's recorded. I'm asking Tomley. I talk like that, so as you know, I've asked a lot of times. Fix the fake news, fake conversations with me, pretending I'm not nice. I ask nice. I'm not going to take your rape threats. Your rules were child offenders. Get off my name. Get that fake news down. I'll gather around. Those locations next to your spots. Oh, the business is going to keep going. People need jobs. You watch it here. Fix the fake news. Follow mandated law. Get down. Every day, people going to court. You sick people. You want it that way, or you want to fix the fake news? No! And give me a response. Why I didn't get a response for the campus with the principals, with the Wethersfield Police Chief's family, and the child sex offenders further recorded and confessed and demonstrated with the branch rolls with it, forging, switching names. Get them into branch with this Gold family involved with these database crimes, with these overt criminal enterprise confessions through time. Also tied to this Joshua Julian, also with the kids' campuses, uses into branch Facebook pages, and even the courts. Get down! Where's this Joshua Julian live? Get me a response for who's running the Facebook page. And get the police chief! Get me a response in writing now! Since I was a kid, they won't give writing. They lie. They know that they confessed recorded to. That's what's actually recorded. Now get me a response. Fox Connecticut News, CCSU, Trinity College, Tucker Carlson, please get me a response. Get them the one name in sequence. I caught them dead cold. That's why we have the on-off campuses bodies, real or made up, recorded involved with the people that brought up the child offenders. The crime method, fact cheating record. By sustaining that, they delay your ability to counter when people give up countering, and it's worse from there. It's all prepared. Get me mandated law now. I'll show you real fast how instant evolution comes. Boxings, play drums. Right now. I'll show you how to end the child abuses through administrations. And what brought that up to my awareness? CCSU! Why am I having to wait for us one name in sequence? Stop playing games. Get this Detective Samuda away from the kids and away. He never arrested me. Yo, you guys be bad. It's worse. That's connected to the child campus in intercity. Whole bunch of police forms. Associated with law, Justice Department law, many names. Real bad. Now, follow mandate law. Fix the fake conversation with me and say sorry to the people now and to the parents now. And bow, then fall. Build wall.